Eritrea is a country that often goes unnoticed on the world stage, yet its history, culture, and resilience make it one of the most fascinating nations on Earth. Situated along the Red Sea in the Horn of Africa, Eritrea has been shaped by ancient civilizations, colonial ambitions, wars of liberation, and a proud sense of independence that continues to define its people today. What shocks many outsiders is how much history is packed into such a small nation. Archaeological evidence shows that parts of modern-day Eritrea were once at the heart of the legendary Kingdom of Aksum, one of the greatest civilizations of the ancient world. The port city of Adulis was once a thriving hub of global trade where ivory, gold, and spices moved between Africa, the Middle East, and Asia. Traders from as far away as India and the Mediterranean sailed into Eritrean waters, making the region a crossroads of commerce and culture. Even today, ruins and artifacts whisper the story of this golden age. Eritrea's strategic location along the Red Sea has always attracted foreign interest. First came the Ottoman Empire, then the Egyptians, and later the Italians, who formally colonized the country in the late 19th century. Italian influence left a lasting mark on Eritrea, particularly in its capital city, Asmara. To this day, Asmara is sometimes called Little Rome because of its stunning collection of Art Deco and modernist architecture. Walking through the streets feels like stepping back into a European city of the 1930s, yet infused with African soul and traditions. UNESCO even declared Asmara's city center a World Heritage Site, recognizing its rare urban beauty. Cafes serving espresso sit side by side with bustling open-air markets, while bicycle-filled boulevards give the capital a laid-back charm that surprises every visitor. But Eritrea's history is not just about beauty. It is about struggle and resilience. After Italy's defeat in World War II, Eritrea was handed over to the British, and eventually, in 1952, it was federated with Ethiopia under United Nations guidance. What followed was decades of political betrayal and violent suppression, leading to one of Africa's longest wars for independence. For 30 years, Eritrean fighters waged a guerrilla war against Ethiopia, battling in the harsh mountains and deserts with little more than determination and courage. The world often overlooked this struggle, yet Eritrea's resilience was unbreakable. In 1991, Eritrean rebels marched triumphantly into Asmara, ending the war, and in 1993, Eritrea officially declared independence after a United Nations-supervised referendum. For many Eritreans, this was not just political freedom, but the culmination of generations of sacrifice. The scars of war are still visible across the nation. Entire towns were destroyed, families were separated, and thousands of lives were lost. Yet, what shocks visitors is how quickly Eritreans rebuilt their communities with almost no outside help. International aid was limited, sanctions were heavy, and isolation was real. Yet Eritrea managed to stand on its own feet. This fierce self-reliance has defined the nation's modern identity. Eritrea has often been described as Africa's North Korea because of its secretive government and tight control of society, but for Eritreans themselves, it is a source of pride that they remain independent in a world dominated by larger powers. This complexity makes Eritrea both misunderstood and deeply intriguing. Beyond politics and war, Eritrea is also a land of shocking natural beauty. Along its 1,200-kilometer Red Sea coastline lies one of the least explored marine environments in the world. The Dahlak Archipelago, a collection of more than 200 islands, is a paradise of crystal-clear waters, coral reefs, and diverse marine life. For divers and explorers, it is one of the last untouched corners of the ocean, where shipwrecks and reefs remain undisturbed by mass tourism. Inland, the landscapes shift dramatically. The highlands are cool and green, with terraced farms and mountain villages, while the lowlands stretch into fiery deserts and salt flats. The Danakil Depression, shared with Ethiopia, is one of the hottest and most surreal places on Earth, with landscapes that look more like Mars than Africa. The people of Eritrea are just as diverse as its geography. There are 9 recognized ethnic groups, each with its own traditions, languages, and cultural heritage. The Tigrinya are the largest group, but others like the Tigray, Saho, Afar, and Rashaida contribute to the country's rich mosaic of identities. This diversity is also reflected in Eritrea's religions. Christianity and Islam coexist, often side by side in the same towns and villages, with mutual respect built over centuries. Festivals, weddings, and traditional dances are colorful, energetic affairs where Eritreans proudly display their heritage. Coffee ceremonies, a central part of Eritrean life, bring families and communities together, reminding everyone of the value of unity and hospitality. Asmara remains the jewel of Eritrea, but other cities and attractions are equally captivating. Massawa, the ancient port city on the Red Sea, tells a story of trade, conquest, and resilience. Its old town is filled with Ottoman, Egyptian, and Italian architecture, though much of it bears the scars of war. Still, walking through its narrow streets feels like traveling through time. The beaches nearby, such as Gurgusum Beach, are peaceful escapes where the turquoise sea meets golden sands. Meanwhile, the town of Keren, surrounded by mountains, is famous for its lively Monday camel market, where traders and farmers gather in a scene that feels centuries old. One of Eritrea's most surprising attractions is its railway. The Eritrean Railway, built by the Italians, runs from the port city of Massawa up to Asmara, climbing steep mountain passes with breathtaking views. Once abandoned during the war, parts of the railway have been restored, and vintage steam locomotives now carry adventurous travelers through one of the most scenic train journeys in the world. It is both a nostalgic reminder of the past and a symbol of Eritrea's ability to preserve its history. Despite its beauty, Eritrea remains one of the least visited countries in the world. Strict visa rules, limited infrastructure, and political isolation mean that tourism is almost non-existent compared to neighboring countries. Yet, for those who do visit, this creates an experience like no other. Imagine exploring ancient ruins with no crowds, diving in coral reefs untouched by humans, or wandering through Art Deco streets where time seems frozen. Eritrea offers an authenticity that has been lost in many other destinations. Economically, Eritrea faces many challenges. Years of sanctions, limited resources, and global isolation have slowed development. Yet the country is rich in minerals such as gold, copper, and zinc, which could one day fuel its growth. Agriculture remains vital, with terraced farming in the highlands providing food for local communities. The government's strict policies and national service program have led many young Eritreans to leave the country in search of opportunity abroad. But those who stay continue to shape the nation with perseverance and pride. The shocking thing about Eritrea is not just its history of wars and struggles, but how little the world truly knows about it. Despite its small size, it has been at the crossroads of civilizations, religions, and empires. It has produced breathtaking architecture, survived colonization, fought and won one of Africa's toughest wars, and remains one of the most unique societies on Earth. Every stone, every street, and every coastline tells a story of resilience, beauty, and determination. Eritrea is a land where history lives in every corner, where the people's spirit shines through hardship, and where hidden wonders await those brave enough to explore it. For a nation so often misunderstood, Eritrea's true story is shocking not because of tragedy alone, but because of the strength and pride that continue to carry it forward. It is a place where the past and present meet in fascinating ways, a nation that has endured storms and emerged with a voice that demands to be heard. Eritrea may be small, but its story is larger than life, and once you discover it, you will never forget it.